Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second part of episode 6 of the Transformers TCG Cityspeakers. We are a podcast based on the UK meta and a look at the meta as a whole in the UK and the surrounding events. As always, I am your host, Kev.
And I'm Matt.
And I'm Marc.
Yes, and now if you listen to the previous part of this show, you would have heard us recap the events of the Friday last chance qualifier that happened this past weekend in London. We gave our thoughts and views on that, but with that over, it is now time for the main event. So, here we go. We've made our choices, we've stood by them. Now we've got to go and battle 55 other players to take down the event.
Yeah.
So this was fought over 6 rounds of Swiss with a cut to the top 8 and prizes leaning all the way down to the top 32, with every player at the event getting 4 boosters for participating. Amazing prize support.
Yeah.
First off, fabulous.
Really, really good.
And little did we know that they added even more at the end for people outside of top 32.
Yeah,
there was more outside of the top 32, and even during there were like little spot prizes.
It was pretty cool. They were hiding stuff under people's seats in rounds, and they'd be like, "Wait, before this round starts, please everyone check under your seat." And then everyone check, and then someone would have like a deck box under their seat or something. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Or sleeves and
or sleeves.
And things,
Little goodies.
It was really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool little goodies. Fantastic prize support. One of the best supported events I've seen for prizes in my history of playing card games. Easily up there.
Yep, it's up there.
It's definitely up there. So, as we went over last episode, we all made our choices on the Friday evening whether or not we were going to stick with the same list or play a different one. I stuck with my Dreadwing list with a few minor changes.
Yep.
And I changed up from Shockwave over back to General Optimus.
Your good old friend General.
That's the guy you had the most reps with, right?
Yeah,
well,
that makes
since
sense.
the beginning of Siege 3, really, he's been the one I've kind of mainlined.
Yeah, fair. I stuck with Metroplex, which won me the tournament on Friday. I figured it did well enough. All I did was change 2 cards in the sideboard. What did I change? I took a Squish and a Heat of Battle out of the sideboard, and I put in a Ramming Speed and a Vaporize for those pesky Gyroblasters.
Nice.
Seems good.
Nice. So basically, we went into Saturday morning playing what we knew.
Yep.
No time for that last minute deck switch. We didn't decide to randomly roll our decks for the day.
No.
No.
It was definitely an option for me at one point.
I did bring 4 decks with me, so that was potentially on the table, but I think...
isn't that what somebody did on Friday?
Right call.
Was it Joe who did that on Friday? He rolled dice?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he rolled dice. I think Ben Cotty might have done as well.
Okay.
He was really unsure. He sat down and was like, I still don't know.
So what we're going to do for this episode is we're going to go over our games on a round-by-round basis.
Yeah, because it's 6 rounds, it's going to be easy to split out that way, I think.
Yeah.
So each individually are going to talk about round 1, each individually talk about round 2, and so on.
Yep.
So
to keep it fresh, and so you don't all hear just the same voice for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely a plan. When getting prepared for a big event, one of the things you should really do is get a good night's sleep.
Oh yeah.
I did
100%.
not succeed in that mission.
No, I think we all mentioned that me and Matt mentioned at the end of the last one that we got 4 or 5 hours respectively.
Yeah, there was not a lot of sleep. There was a good breakfast. We at least got some breakfast.
Okay.
Good.
I had a Nutri-Grain bar or something for breakfast.
Joe Bradley was a good sport to find some pastries for us in the morning to devour, so at least got that part in.
Always have your breakfast of champions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not really
So,
a breakfast
yeah.
person anyway, to be honest. But anyway, moving
Yeah.
on.
So, I took Dreadwing with Private Fire Drive. If you want to have a look at my list, we are going to put it up in the description. I guess that'll probably be much
Yeah,
easier
we'll put
way.
it in the description of the video.
So yeah, idea of the deck, as I went over on the last episode, is minimize the damage on Dreadwing by combining, so they have to attack Fire Drive twice, and then hit them with a really big stick. And if you can, steamroll and kill 2 bots at once by discarding your hand. That is the plan. Round 1, I was paired up against Joe Bradley playing Blaster with Fire Drive. So this is the I don't want to say standard Blaster list. I think there might have been a couple of different card choices, but it's certainly the list that is obviously impacting the meta. One of the better.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it already speaks volumes for like the type of decks that are appearing at this event.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
excellent. This is going to be not going to be a breezy round 1 at all.
I think there was at least 6 or 7 Blaster players, at least.
Yeah, there was a few. Very popular deck on the day.
Yep.
With good reason. It is solid.
Oh yeah. No, yeah.
So round 1 started off pretty back and forth. There was a huge misplay from Joe after he cast Peace Through Tyranny to kill one of his guys, killing Fire Drive, I think, logically, to slap him onto Blaster, which was his last stood guy.
Yeah.
So the mistake there is PTTing when you've only got 1 attack. To compound that mistake, I had just transformed Dreadwing on my turn, so Dreadwing was stood and Fire Drive was his only legal target. So what happened was he PTT'd, slapped Fire Drive and killed him. And then his second turn consisted of drawing and passing, because he had no attack to come at me. I was able to capitalize on that mistake and take down the game. He sideboarded in Leonizer, I believe, as opposed to Dreadwing. I think his idea was to just try and flip as much damage as possible when he could go for Dreadwing. Certainly going first, Leonizer came in and hit my 1 defense guy for quite about 6 damage, I think. And I made the mistake of not sideboarding in my 2nd and 3rd copy of Gyro Blasters. Sure. I had sideboarded, but not. I think I'd sideboarded a Batons, and that was it. I think for that one, I really should have sideboarded in the 2 Gyro. That was a mistake on my part. So yeah, that game went a lot better for him, and he was able to even it up with about 15 minutes on the clock, 10 to 15 minutes on the clock. We played game 3, and I was able to get into a commanding position before time was called. Time was called, and he offered the session, which was lovely of him. I thanked him for that. Played him before down in Brighton. He's one of your locals, isn't he?
Yep.
He was playing Menasor then, so I was like, oh.
I think that's what the dice gave him on Friday, wasn't it?
Menasor. Yeah, he played Menasor in the LCQ, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So a tough first round win for myself, which alleviates the jitters a little bit. How was your first round, Mark? Oh no, wait. What did you do? How did your first game go, Mark?
It was pretty good. I wandered around and I watched Drew play some 5-wide off-road patrol, took some photos, and just hung out, watched him play against Joe, who also had 2 buys. That was quite interesting. 4 wide cars versus 5 wide off patrol. Yeah, that was interesting.
Feels fair.
A lovely first hour for yourself.
Yeah, it was quite, like, all jokes aside, it was quite nice to be able to like wake up a bit more and relax and just chill. Because
that's the real prize.
Yeah, that is the main prize, I think, of the buys, is that you get more time and you get to look around and see what people are playing as well, which is also nice.
Chilling like a villain.
Yep. Getting all the glares from the other tables. Hey, how was yours, Matt?
Okay, so my round 1. So I brought in Optimus, Hot Rod, and Fire Drive with Battlefield Legend in the side. Again, as Kev said, if you want a copy of the deck list, feel free to contact me or drop us a comment. But I think we might be putting the lists on the description.
Yeah, we need to check if we're allowed to, because I know in the other events that they wanted to put them out themselves, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So
that's fine.
we need to check.
Yeah.
But obviously, yeah.
Yeah. So my round 1. I have to apologise. I didn't take down any notes during the games or afterwards, so I'm kind of going off of memory on who I played, what they had, and so on. So unfortunately for game 1, don't have the name. He was a lovely chap, long blonde hair, fuzzy beard. Was really cool. Played Ion Storm, Trigger Happy, Flame War. This was a deck that kind of like emerged from the weekend before over in the States, and being as focused as I was on the stuff that I was already trying to be focused on, I didn't really get time to test against this build. So
I didn't test against it either.
No. I looked at it. It has Arnstorm. He's a big character. Trigger Happy. Yeah, I'm kind of familiar with him with the 4 wide Pierce setup, and Flame War. I think everyone's familiar with. So I was unprepared, and I'd kind of walked into it with the 2 characters I was more familiar with, and tried to focus on them. But it was Ion Storm that was really doing the damage, and I really needed to appreciate that more than I did, and so that cost me a loss in game 1. Moving into game 2, still really kind of flustered with what to do here. I was like, well, okay, maybe this is the time that I should bring in OPBL. So I did, and it was not ideal. I felt like I was able to apply more pressure. I think this time I actually managed to kill a bot, and he was playing a mixed pip style affair. I'm not sure if that's the common build for this lineup, but it was. So Trigger Happy was regularly going back and grabbing back grenade launchers. So I felt pretty confident that Trigger Happy was the one that needed to go. But yeah, still really needed to appreciate what Ironstorm did, and again, just couldn't get the work done. So yeah, both those characters fell, and game 1 was 0-2 to this chap. So that set me off pretty hard. Like, okay, well now I need to kind of win out from here.
Sure, yeah. The first round loss is
if I want to make any chance of decent placing,
you gotta submarine it.
I have to submarine it. Yeah. So yeah, it was a tough pill to swallow for game 1, but it was good. Learned a fair amount, I think. I think now I really need to appreciate that more and play more of that matchup if I can.
Yeah. Well, like we said in the last one, like all you can do is learn from your losses, right?
Absolutely. And I'd said in the last, I got those 8 games in versus that deck, and the 4 wide cards deck, and whilst I lost every game, I learnt so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that was great, really cool. I guess that moves us into round 2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
unless anybody
round
else
2.
has anything to say about round 1.
Nope.
No? Cool.
Nope.
Let's move on to round 2
So
then.
round 2 for me, I was able to grab a quick drink before heading down to my table. I was paired up against Kevin White, so it was going to be a battle of the Kevs,
Nice.
and he was
Oh,
running Battlefield Legend with General Optimus. So 2 wide Optimus with a star left over.
Cool.
Now, I'd already known that 2 wide decks were a bit of a pain for Dreadwing. I never like to see it. I certainly don't like to see it when they're starting off 2 wide. So I was not very confident. I just figured I would just have to try and soak up as much damage as I could, and then get that one-shot kill in, and then try and get there. But it's very hard for the deck to kill one big beefy guy and then kill another big beefy guy before. However, the game was the first game was incredibly close. We were both making play-for-play actions. There was some answer to certain things, or vaporizers when we needed them. And it came down to I had Fire Drive on Dreadwing, and I had to hit. I had to get a character off. I believe there was a lot of armor on Battlefield Legends, so I tried to go for General Prime. I done the math, and I figured the 3 blues on defense, because he was in truck or bot mode. Sorry, the 3 blues on defense wouldn't be enough. So I was on point to knock him out on the nose. But what actually happened is, when I came in, without discarding any cards, he flipped blue, blue, white, blue, leaving him on 1 hit point. So yeah, it was pretty bad. As a result of leaving him on 1 hit point, he was able to get 2 more attacks off, which kind of sealed the deal for Dreadwing, because it can take, an attack of 8 to 10 from Battlefield Legend, and it can take an attack of 6 to 8 from the general, but not when it's that late in the game. I had to get a character off the board. I could have discarded a card from my hand, chose not to, because I figured I needed as many cards in my hand for an attack.
For the next attack.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Left him on 1.
Yeah.
That
tough judgment call to
that
make.
judgment call right there probably cost me the game. I could have discarded a card to really make it safe. I chose not to. There were quite a few whites in his bin. It's just unfortunate. It's how the flips go. So that was the turning point of the game. It went from being very equal to very much in favour at that point, and he took it down. Went to game 2. I went first, leading out with Fire Drive to draw and have not get Dreadwing hit on the chin. His card for game 2 on his first turn was a Leap of Faith, which found Gyro Blasters on one guy and Force Field on the other. That is a very hard first turn to overcome.
Yeah, I can see that.
It was not great. So it meant that my reinforced platings were dead on the defense from Battlefield Legend, and I couldn't one-shot the general regardless, unless I had an answer to the Gyro Blast, which I did find, I think, but it was. So he took that game down 2-0. Very well played by Kevin there. Obviously knew his deck inside and out, because he was Battle for Legend, he was able to play that Leap of Faith 2 more times before the game was over.
Okay.
Although
Okay.
someone could
Wow.
argue some could argue the game was already on the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so well played to him. He definitely smashed it. So I ended my round 2 going 1-1, which meant I needed to submarine the rest of them.
Sure.
So, Mark, how was your game 2?
Yeah, it was good. I can't actually remember what I did during round 2. I think it was the same. I was just sat around watching Drew because he was also playing Ultra Magnus Jetfire. I didn't play against him because there was like a big queue of people playing, and I was just like, I'll just let them play. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was watching him play Magnus Jetfire, and I definitely want to play that deck. That deck looks hella fun.
Yeah. Does look like a lot of
But
good
yeah,
fun.
my round 2 mainly consisted of that. I was also wandering around, taking videos and photos of just everybody else playing and just the event in general, which I am in the process of making into a sort of like a recap montage video of the whole event and the whole weekend. So at some point that will be uploaded. So keep your eyes out for that.
Everyone needs a montage.
Excellent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We need a montage.
Alright,
so
so
yeah,
another...
that was it for me round 2, but that was the end of my buy. So yeah, also I was like starting to get into game mode, you know, just like wandering around, looking at again at what people are playing, what's at the top tables, what I'm potentially going to be playing against. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. So I guess that's my game 2.
Yeah.
So I got so from here on I do remember the names that I faced, so
Okay.
that's good. So we had Harry Rose. He brought along Devastator,
Nice.
and I hadn't played Devastator for quite a while. He kind of disappeared, I think, since the emergence of Siege.
Yeah, it's a bit surprising though because it got, well, not, I don't know necessarily him, but Erratic Energy Relay got released, which I thought would be real effective in
Yeah,
Devastator.
a lot of us speculated that it could have been
I'm
a
sure
cool
people
thing for
out
him.
there are using it, but we haven't seen it
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah, Harry also had Erratic Energy
He
Grenade
did,
in the
nice.
deck.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah,
There's
he
the
did.
guy.
He had it. He had it. It was not what I was familiar with. So towards the tail end of Rise of the Combiners, we saw Devastator was like maining orange,
Right.
and this build was not quite like that.
Right.
It had a lot of mixed pips, so maybe
Mhm.
similar to what I'd seen someone else was using.
Amit.
Amit, yeah.
Yeah.
So lots of cards doing good stuff.
Yep.
Always ditching a card to pump the tower.
Yeah, every single time.
And yeah, but I think because of that blue, it meant that his attacks were quite soft.
Yeah.
So I was able to always deal damage and always kill a character versus him only being able to like mildly wound.
Sure.
Which was a real shame. So even once General was tapped, there was like 3 or 4 characters left standing.
Mhm.
It wasn't enough to kill him.
Yeah, sure.
So I just got to stand back up, repeat the process, fire drive in, draw a card, hot rod in, kill a character, general sweep, you know.
Yeah.
So that I don't know if that was down to the build, either of our builds, just but yeah, it was a win for the general. So
Nice.
going into game 2, I felt pretty comfortable with the way that game went.
Yeah.
So I didn't side in any cards. I didn't even though he had a lot of bold, I was like, actually, I don't think I need the gyros for this. I don't need to add more blank pip cards. And the amount of damage I was taking wasn't high enough from the bold to warrant it. So it was a similar affair carried on. Cards like Armed Hovercraft do great work.
Yes, they do.
They do a lot of work versus combiners, and especially Devastator.
Yes, they do.
You've then got something that did surprise me is in game two. I did the armed hovercraft, got 6 characters. I was like, that felt pretty good.
Yeah.
He then returned with a bad attitude.
Okay. I was gonna say because
So
the same thing happened to me, but
go
which
on.
we'll get to later.
Okay, cool.
Different guy.
Um,
I played the other Devastator guy in round 5, which we'll get to.
Sure. So yeah, I had the bad attitude back to me, and I kind of still felt that it was okay because I dealt 6 versus his 3. I think it was just that kind of stalling of the game that just kind of disrupted things a bit. But
Yeah.
carried on from the game before. It was much the same principle, and it was eventually another win.
Nice.
So 2-0 up.
Nice.
So confidence was being regained.
Yes.
First rung of the ladder
Yep.
stepped.
There you go.
It was.
You're back to
I'm back.
even record.
Yeah,
Onwards and upwards.
yeah, it was good.
Good job.
Anything more for round 2?
No,
No?
I don't have any more notes for round 2 here.
Okay. Over to game 3. Kevin.
Yeah. So round 3 started after a lunch break, so everyone had
Oh
time
yeah,
to.
we were given a lunch break. I forgot about that, which
Yeah.
which was nice.
Oh yes.
Which I wasn't expecting. So yeah, I remember I was getting ready, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have a lunch break," and we're like, "Oh yeah, okay." I
Yeah,
got
I think
even more.
we've all
time.
played. We've all played a lot of card gaming events and other events where you just kind of have to muscle through and
Yeah,
squeeze in
No,
food
it
breaks in
was.
between your games.
yeah. So it was
So
nice. They gave
yeah,
us a little break to go outside, get some air, get some food.
Yeah.
I think it was
So
like
we'd
half
all
hour,
been.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep. We'd all been fed and watered.
Mhm.
My
Yep,
round 3 was against Alex Keddy, who was playing Bugs.
cool.
So I had a good spread of testing against Bugs.
And Bugs was quite a heavy theme for the day as well, wasn't it? Like
Yeah,
unsurprisingly.
Yeah.
there were a
Unsurprisingly, yeah.
few. I had the benefit of fighting, playing Bugs the day before twice, and
Yep.
coming out on top both times. So I was quietly confident in this round. In game 1, it went pretty standardly. I was able to kill a couple of his guys, and it was the question of, well, if I kill such and such, and he's got an ISF, that is probably like the 2 attacks on the back swing are probably going to kill me. But I can't not kill a guy, so it comes down to whether or not he's got the ISF. On his turn, there was no ISF, and therefore I could withstand the 1 attack and then one shot his last guy.
Okay.
First
Nice.
game to me. I sideboarded in my gyro blasters. They do quite a bit of work against Bugs.
Yep. Kickback.
Yep. Kickback and barrage, especially, I imagine.
Yep. So I mean, the benefit of Dreadwing's attack is he can one shot any bug really without
Yeah.
having to pump cards.
Yeah.
Once fire drives on there, and it's
Yeah.
difficult for Bugs to get rid of it when I've got better cards. So game 2, there was an ISF, which was the difference maker. He was
Okay.
able to just get there and get the damage on. I believe, I don't know if Fire Drive had been KO'd. He must have been KO'd, but I do remember scooping at least one game on the day as soon as Dreadwing died, even though Fire,
Yeah. Sure.
because
Yeah.
there's no point. Game 3, I saw the gyros and they were MVP. There was no answer to them. So it was a case of withstanding the assault. I was able to armed hovercraft shrapnel to just kill him in 2 hits before combining, which is very relevant. And
That's the
then,
way to do it.
And then by the end of the game, there was the ISF that he had was just so a nice game, lovely chap, and yeah, 2-1 after round 3.
Nice.
Very good. Your deck's working.
So yeah, it's doing
It's
its
doing the
its
thing
job.
it was meant to do.
It's doing
Yeah.
the thing it's meant to do. Mark, just a quick
Yes.
question. Obviously,
Yep.
this is your first round after
Sure.
your bye. Did essentially coming in dry, I guess. You hadn't had any game warm up.
Yeah, that was a mistake of mine, by the way, which I will get to.
You were coming in cold. You hadn't
Yeah.
stretched out.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I felt when I sat down. And I joked about it to the guy next to me who also had a bye. I can't remember who it was who I played. Oh, was it Wayne? I think I sat down next to Wayne in round 3, sorry. And yeah, I joked to him. I was like, "Oh, you've got the advantage. You're all warmed up. I'm sat here. I'm cold. I've done nothing." But yeah, I probably should have just got some warm up games in against like Joe or somebody else who had some buys just to get the brain moving, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I sat down in round 3 and I sit down. I put down Metroplex. I put down Windblade in my sideboard. If you're wondering, that's my sideboard character for the lore, of course. And she's never coming in. She's just there to whisper the secrets to Metroplex, you know. And
Like a mascot.
Yeah,
more than a sideboard character.
she is the city speaker. So hey,
Yeah,
So
that's
it
it.
is.
Represent.
Yeah, exactly. So I put down my team, and then my opponent sits down, and he puts down his team, and it's Major Shockwave, and I'm like, oh no, I played this yesterday. This doesn't go very well. So yeah, there's not really much to say because we said it in the last podcast. Shockwave just pretty much shuts down what you want to do with Metroplex. He gets rid of your hand and he stops you flipping cards because he has main deck Gyroblaster. So your plan of play 2 cards and then flip half your deck doesn't come off very well.
Who is it you played?
It was Chris. Sorry, Christopher.
Okay.
Is it McDonald? His last name.
Cool.
So yeah, his Shockwave list did very well throughout the day, and I was his first victim. Well, I don't know if it was his first victim, but I think he had 2 buys. I'm not sure. If he watches, he can confirm. But yeah, he pretty much destroyed me in game 1. There wasn't much I could do. He saw the gyro early and Swoop, the hero as he calls him. He did his job. So in game 2, I sided in my cutlasses for the small guys because even though it's a slightly mixed deck, Shockwave has big defense. So if I have any hope of getting any damage on him with the small guys, I need the cutlasses.
I think that makes sense.
And I brought in an espionage, I think, for the Gamma Disruptors, which again, thinking back on it now, I think is a mistake. Because with the amount of recursion in the deck, with reclaims and stuff, it's just you're discarding it, and he's just going to get it back. So you're just wasting a card for nothing, really.
I think it's hard to espionage Shockwave.
Yeah.
Like what's the card you choose? Because
for
there
me,
are
it was
so
the
many that he
Disruptors
can
because
get back.
I want to stop the big hits at Metroplex. But yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what the choice is. Maybe it's best to go after the secret actions. Because they're running a suite of them, right? So maybe that's the
one
best
that's going to affect you the most. Like if he's running
depending
infiltrate,
on what
then
deck you're playing,
you don't care about that because your biggest, unless you're wanting to use supercharge, for instance. But otherwise, you could call black maybe for hiding spot.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's the option. But yeah, maybe it's just the wrong option. But that's what I tried, and it still didn't work. Again, Gyroblasters they do work. I didn't get. I think I got rid of it once, but then he just saw another one, so it was fine. Yeah, it was fairly comfortable for him. 2-0 Shockwave over Metroplex. So I came in 2-0 obviously because of my buys, and then take a loss straight away, which isn't that great, but hey, like, what can I do against Shockwave, really? That's what I'm going to be finding out in the next month or so. What can Metroplex do against Shockwave?
So the rest of us, we're all now submarining the rest of the way.
Yeah, if we're hoping for top 8, then
into that top 8 spot.
Yep.
And so my game 3 was against a familiar opponent. I played him the night before.
Yep.
The guy that put us up the room for the night.
Oh no, it was, wasn't it? I remember.
John Hanford returned back from lunch, and I get this call over from him saying, "Hey Matt, it's me and you again."
Oh
I'm
no.
I'm like, "Oh no! Like, how could this happen?"
Hey.
He'd made some minor changes to the deck from before. He was
Mhm.
now using Battlefield Legend and General Prime in the main, rather than Alpha Trion instead of General.
Yeah.
So he had Alpha Trion now in the sideboard.
Okay.
I think he focused a lot more on his blue side of things, playing around with tough and just blue pips in general. So it was a little bit harder to chew through, but I remained 3 wide because I believed that using characters like Fire Drive and Hot Rod as diversion attacks meant that my General Prime could go in for bigger swings, and deal a lot more damage, and then he'd have to defend attack into my Fire Drive and Hot Rod. So yeah, that happened for 2 games. It was another 2-0. I am another step up the ladder.
Yeah. That's good though. 2-0.
Yeah, no,
2-0.
well, yeah, this is
Gets
it.
the confidence back, right?
It does start to regain that confidence. Yeah, so after game 1, I say it was a tough pill to swallow, but it's yeah, the nerves are starting to kick in as well at the same time. Like it's like, oh
Yeah.
no, I'm
Is it
getting
happening?
higher.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
it gonna happen?
Yeah, absolutely. But it was good. Yeah, very jovial. John's a great guy. So yeah, look forward to seeing him again.
Yeah, sure.
And
So yeah, so far so good for us. It's all been going, relatively to plan.
it's relatively to plan. Yeah,
we're positive records, right? So yeah.
we are
Yeah,
now.
probably.
Yes, yeah.
So my round 4 was against Matt Allfrey, who was playing Hot Wheels.
Yeah,
Ooh.
he's one of our
Yeah,
locals.
he's one of the Brighton guys.
So
He's playing classic
wave
cars.
2, classic
Yeah,
cars.
classic cars.
Wave 2B, Wheeljack, and Wave 1 Prowl. Now I'd been playing Hot Wheels for a long time.
Mhm.
I really liked them, but once the advent of 4 wide happened, and then the anticipation cut
Yeah.
happened, I put it on the back burner mostly because I don't have a cliff jump.
Yeah, that's
I
understandable.
figured, like I don't think Hot Wheels are going to cut it when those other 2 variations are just better.
Yeah,
So
I can see it, but
I sadly put my Hot Wheels into the back burner. It's still built. I still enjoy playing it.
Yeah,
But if I was to
it's
play
one of the most fun
Orange,
decks.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I was
at
going
the
to
moment.
say. Some people just prefer the original because it's just more fun, right?
yep, absolutely. And but if I was to play Orange on the weekend, I would have wanted to have played something with Cliff Jumper in, or something that maybe hadn't been played with much. So I had already made the decision to go with it anyway.
Mhm.
So game 1, pretty good for me. I was able to get armored up, and the important move was I was able to with a fire drive Dreadwing, get him off the board, leaving B and Prowl, but it didn't take much to get rid of them either. And being able to withstand the attacks meant that Dreadwing just didn't go down.
Mhm.
As a result of that, Matt made the decision to bring in RC
Okay.
for Prowl.
Yep.
So I was like, yep, that's definitely scary. Gonna have
Interesting.
to make her a priority, because she will just eat through eat me through. I put in the other 2 gyro blasters to minimize the bold from Wheeljack mainly.
Yep.
And my game plan was one-shot RC as soon as I had the chance. Unfortunately, by the time I was able to kill RC in game 2, I'd already taken like over 50% damage. And at that point, it's too late. She had got off a big swing, and it just went right through me. She did her job.
Yep.
Going into game 3, RC did not have the opportunity to do too much before she went down, which meant I was able to soak up attacks from the other 2. I believe Gyro Blasters was so Wheeljack was turned off again, and then came the big one shot to Wheeljack, and B just couldn't finish it, so he was then taken out as well. Sure. The big thing is in that deck, I mean, being able to one shot their bots as against Hot Wheels is very important, because you cannot give them the time to stand and spread the damage. So one-shotting them is very important. I was able to do it. The stand wasn't as relevant as it could have been, although I'm sure the pressed advantage still hurt. And there's nothing I can do about it. Press.
Nope. Press is mean.
The only play I have against it is an infiltrate, which I had sideboarded in events running up to this weekend, but it just wasn't doing enough, because you side it in. If you see it and you flop it down, they just tend to go grenade launcher, something else.
As we saw throughout the day.
They'll keep the press. Infiltrate is not an answer. It just isn't.
It can be, but as we saw throughout the whole weekend, people have already adapted to playing around them.
Yeah. And you can't bluff it either.
No,
it's not a secret action that. I mean, you can, but of all the things that worry you as Dreadwing, there, press the advantage is definitely the number one. If they just go, well, if I was playing against that and I'd seen myself throw down a secret action, I would just not play the press and wait, and that's people tend to do. But I was able to take it down. Again, lovely guy, consistently great people to play throughout the day. So another win for me. I was feeling quite happy, but I was also quite nervous, because now's the time where you run into the decks that have gone, win, loss, right? So your next 2 games are both going to be real hard, and knowing what the top end of the field was, and what was there, I was very worried that if I ran into particular matchups, it would not be good times for me. But I was quite happy with being 3-1 at the
Yep, very good.
So, me, huh? So I had a loss in round 2 buys, loss in round 3, coming in 2-1. So I had Shockwave in round 3. I sit down in round 4. I sit across from Simon Monday, who's from your area, Kevin, and we've had on our podcast previously to talk about his list. So he was playing Superion with the bombing runs, the spicy bombing runs. And they did some good work against me, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately for me, fortunately for him. The bombing runs are able to negate the spread damage of Slammer and the Metroplex triggers quite well. More effective than I think a lot of us have thought in the past. Because even Drew mentioned it, I think, in the Q&A, right? Somebody was talking about Decepticon cards. Where's our Decepticon playing cards? And he was like, we got bombing run. Somebody's playing it. And I was like, and Simon was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, it does good. It did good against me.
Yep.
But I chose to go first. Both. I lost. I must have. I think I don't know. Either way, I went first in game 1. So I swing in, and he swings back with all his dudes. He's playing blue, superior on. I'm not too bothered about that. I'm not expecting much damage, and I think he got 5 damage on me, which is what I was expecting. It's pretty good. So I was feeling all right, but I whiffed on a couple of trigger swings, and the bombing runs. And he's got the brainstorm in there as well. So he had a couple of spicy brainstorm plays against me. The one I remember the most is in game 2. So game 2, I chose to go first because of what happened in game 1. I was like, he did 5 damage to me. Sure, I'll just go first again. So I swing in. He goes 1 card. I'm like, yeah, sure, 1 card. He goes brainstorm. I'm like, oh no, here we go. Inferno Breath. Tap one of my dudes, deal 3 to Metroplex. Okay. Bigger they are. Swing with this dude into Metroplex. I'm like, okay, this isn't going very well.
That's
7 from nowhere.
Exactly. I think he did 15 in that swing, that big group of swings. Yeah. So the first game he did 5, the second game he did 15. So yeah, I wasn't in very good shape. And again, the bombing runs were able to negate the spread damage. I took the armed hovercrafts out and brought in the cutlasses, obviously. But yeah, just those bombing runs, they're good. You should consider them. That was 2-0 for Simon. It was very close in game 2. I mean, both of the games were fairly close. I'm making it sound like I got destroyed when it was close. I think the second game, it was a do or die swing where, like, if I didn't kill him, I was dead because I had 2 damage left and he's got Pierce 3 base.
Yes,
and I think he survived with 3 left. It wasn't like real close, but I think he had 6 left and I swang and then he defended and only took 3, and then he just killed me. But yeah, it was good. One funny thing that I do want to mention about that is Drew came over to watch us, because obviously that was when he saw the bombing run that he mentioned in the Q&A. So he's sitting there, and as soon as he comes over, me and Simon both see him standing there, and we both I think we both got a little bit nervous. We're like, oh shit, he's going to watch us play. So like we both started being well more careful with our play. And I swing in with I swing in with a little guy into one of his little guys, flip an orange and a white. I'm like, I'm swinging for 4, and Drew just looks at it and goes, Judge? I'm like, there's a gyroblaster, and he looks over and he goes, ooh. He was so surprised to see the gyroblaster. It was like hidden, like down in the bottom corner, because there's like 5 aerial bots, right? And he just looks over and he's like, ooh, there is a gyroblaster. It was funny. But yeah, so I lost 2-0 to Simon. But yeah, I know Simon. He's a good guy. I didn't feel too bad about it, but I am 2-2 at this point, so I'm a little bit nervous. At that point, I'm like, I don't think I'm making top 8. So all I can do now is try and win out, and then just see what happens.
Hope
right?
The tiebreakers carry you.
Yeah,
in.
I'm like, at the very best, I'll be on the very bubble, and there's a slight hope in hell that I'll get 8th. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So just got to do what I can do from here. So that was it. That was my round 4.
Nice.
Okay.
Tough game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Superion is still tough. Do not sleep on him. So my game 4. I face against Toby Bassett. He is, I guess you could say, from like a cousin town in Chichester. So he's part of their crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So Michael, who plays with us quite regularly, often plays down in Chichester too.
Yeah, sure.
And he often speaks of their group.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, got to face this one of his guys.
Nice.
He was using a 4-wide Pierce deck, similar to that of Joe, who played at Gen Con from Wreck and Roll. And yeah, Pierce is something to respect.
Pierce. Yeah.
And I was fortunate enough that I was playing the aggressive orange cards enough to be able to put in the damage where necessary to take out a character. So we'd always swing with Mirage first to to be a big, meaty 10 health block for me to chew through before something else. And then I'd have Alpha Bravo, Trigger Happy, and Flame War to deal with. Once one of those was down, try and make it as clean as a one-shot swing as possible if I could. But failing that, I've got the outs of marksmanships and one-shell stands and arm hovercrafts, so I'm dealing about as much direct damage as they probably are, and just hopefully I can win that race because of the stronger raw attack power that I have.
Yeah.
And fortunately enough, in the 3-wide, that was the case. It was good. So that was game 1 win. Going into game 2, I knew that I was going first, and so I did this. This was a huge factor for me during the whole event, actually. Like, if I was going first, it would be the decision maker on whether I sideboarded or not. Or certainly character-wise, anyway. And so I sided into Battlefield Legend. I felt like if I can remove someone like Flame War straight away, then it's going to make my job so much easier for the rest of that game.
Yeah. Good choice.
Certainly off of his big attack, I've got oranges, playing the action off the top, that sort of thing, plus the direct damage in the deck, you know. So I did that. I sided in him. I brought in an extra copy of Energy Pack. I brought in the Gyro Blasters, or the extra Gyro Blasters I had on the side.
I feel like we've been saying that a lot in these last 2 podcasts.
Yeah, Gyro Blasters, Energy Packs, utilities, they're
troublesome. Yes.
Yeah. I think we mentioned, like, early on in the event that anyone that's maining gyros or energy packs have got a good shot.
Yeah.
That is certainly a thing. And so yeah, this went about as well as I could have hoped in siding in OPBL. It was open up, swing into Flame War, do as much as I could. Unfortunately, I didn't flip any actions, even with the bold one from General. And so left her on 1 hit point. But this was okay, as I've before mentioned, that with the direct damage I've got, should be okay to still finish her off later on. Yeah, from there out, with big swings from Legend and General, we were able to take out characters piecemeal pretty effectively for a second win.
Nice.
So that was another 2-0 victory.
Nice. Running the train tracks. You just go in, you're getting your
I'm going for it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the excitement and the nerves are definitely compounding against each other right now.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that was that event. It was really good. Yeah, it was good to face that deck. It was a deck I hadn't really faced against.
Nice.
In testing. I built it myself and played against it, so I kind of knew what it did. I didn't really know what mine was going to do against it. But I sat down and felt relatively confident, and yeah, and it was a good games.
GG's.
Yeah. It should be mentioned actually that myself and Nick Cork helped build this deck that I was using together, and whilst we kind of had it in mind that we would be tackling this, and this, there were obviously a lot of matchups where we didn't really tech for or anything. Right. So it's a really good testament to the deck to be able to handle some of those outliers.
Yeah, sure.
Or at least have the answers to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm really, really happy with how the deck's performing overall. But yeah, so yeah, that was my game 4.
Sweet.
We move over to round 5.
Yeah, round 5.
Yep. Round 5. This is where it gets real hard.
Yeah, this is where everyone's
Yeah,
starting to
it's-
sweat a little bit. There's only 2 more. Most people know where they stand right now, and they know what
the
they've
4
got
and
to do, right?
1s, or the 3 and 1s at this point.
Yeah, it's the sweat is on. So
and needing the wins.
yeah, so my round 5 pairing was against Simon Monday with Superior.
Oh,
Yeah,
getting back to back. I didn't realise.
Yeah, so I've obviously played against his Superior list quite a lot,
Yeah, sure.
and the matchup is already very hard because of the Pierce.
Yeah.
Which is obviously why the 3 points defense systems are in my sideboard.
Sure.
In fact, I'd sideboarded quite heavily against Superior and 4 wide Pierce because they're such an issue.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if it mattered too much in your game, Mark, but Simon's particular list has a lot of equipment upgrade removal.
Yeah, he was playing Smelt a lot. Yeah, I was getting smelted a lot, and obviously Metroplex has only got like backup beam out most of the time. So yeah, see you later.
He runs 3 Smelt, 3 Vaporize, and has Air Rage trigger, right?
Yeah.
You can guarantee by slapping his on.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, he was getting rid of all of my stuff.
Yeah, so it's real hard for Dreadwing to suit up, even with multiple spare parts.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So not only do I have to worry about the Pierce in game 1, none of my equipment is going to stick.
Yeah.
So I have really not tested. But I was like, well, at the end of the day, it's a very bad matchup for me, but at least one of us is going into the round for a win.
That's true.
Right?
That's
brilliant.
That's the good thing about playing your friends that late in tournament, right? Is that you can't feel too bad if you lose because your friend wins.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is true after the game.
Yeah, sure. In the moment, it still feels bad, but yeah.
In the moment, it feels pretty bad. And not going to lie, I don't think I've ever been thoroughly torn asunder in a game. I was ripped 7 ways to Sunday.
Oh dear.
It's like I thought I might need an operation because, oh boy, every time I played an upgrade, it went just like that, gone. Because he doesn't have to play actions to guarantee pierce damage when he's got Nobles Blasters / Laser Cutlasses / Alpha Bravo, right? He is just going to keep ticking away, and if there's an upgrade that scares him, he just gets rid of it. So it's even more brutal when obviously I need Fire Drive to stay on Dreadwing to guarantee lots, especially against the blue deck, especially against someone that's running tough stuff. So when he can get rid of spare parts and then get rid of my weapon and then still have answers to more upgrades, it's real tough. The first game was brutal. I I sideboarded in everything. I sideboarded in an espionage to get rid of the Enigma. I sideboarded in enforcement batons to get pierce weapons. I sideboarded in both the photon bombs. I sideboarded in the points defense systems and the gyro blasters. So pretty much everything.
I was going to say, so isn't that your whole sideboard?
That was a heavy tech for.
It's pretty much
Superior.
everything.
Wow. Kitchen sink too.
Yeah, I would have tried.
Wait, are you taking stuff out, or just just 10 cards in?
No, I was reading stuff. I'm fairly sure all of my armors came out.
Okay, cool.
So, I may have left some.
Well, that makes sense, right? If they're doing nothing because of the pierce, then
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
keep out, just gone. That's fine.
I did similar in my pierce game. It's like actually the armor's doing nothing. Let's take them out.
And game 3, I was like, oh, game 3 is pretty good. I had all 3 points defenses from pretty much the start of the game. So I'm like, oh, this is good. Right, so we'll spare parts, and then I can points defense system, and hopefully that's it, right? That should be enough. No, it was not. Because what actually happened was I went spare parts, he went smelt. I went,
Oh no.
okay. Points defense system, he went smelt. Okay. Points defense system, he was like, vaporize.
Yeah.
All right.
Now that
Points
you
defense
say this,
system,
it sounds very familiar. I don't know how I
Point-
forgot that, but yeah,
points
that's
defense
basically what happened to me.
system. Points defense system, he was like, okay, big AR on air raid, swing in for Pierce 4, -2, get rid of your PDS. I was like,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. You're giving me
Okay.
flashbacks of backup beam, smelt. Okay, datapad? No, smelt. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
How about this matrix? No, I'll vaporize that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can I have this backup beam? No,
No,
smelt.
you don't get no, nothing. You get nothing,
Yeah.
right? So
You
very,
need full
very,
loadout or go home.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that
Very,
might work
very
in
good.
Dreadwing though. In Dreadwing, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I believe he was even able to kill one of Dreadwing before I'd even blind.
Oh no!
That's how
Before you
bad it
even
was.
blind, damn.
That was so bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was like, okay, fine. So I've got espionage in hand. He's gonna if he combines next turn, I
Yeah.
am dead right there.
Oh,
basically.
that's another thing that you just reminded me of. I espionaged his Enigma in one of the games and I still lost.
Right? So I was like, okay, I have to espionage green and hope that I get rid of it because if he combines, he's killing Fire Drive and Dreadwing in that turn, and it's just over.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, espionage green. Ah, you've got Enigma. Great. Excellent. Swing in for like no damage. Oh, you flipped an Enigma.
Yeah, same thing, same thing. I think I
Yeah.
got rid of the Enigma and then he flipped the next one in the defensive flip, literally as
Yeah,
I swung.
that-
Yeah, it was just like
that's
oh, no.
exactly what happened
the
to me. So, and Simon was like very apologetic. Don't apologize. And I like, what am I supposed to do against it? Yeah, so thoroughly ruined. None of my sideboard mattered
No.
because it all went.
No.
It all went. It did nothing. It did absolutely nothing. So I was like, yeah, well played, dude. I'm gonna go get some ice cream. Doesn't
Nice.
matter what flavor because it's for my ass.
Oh no.
Yep. So that was how my round 5 went, which knocked me out of the ability to get the cup, but meant that he was one game
On
away
the bubble,
from
yeah, he was the winning in, right?
Yeah. So
Nice.
yeah, fair play to Simon. Very tough deck to face.
Yeah. Can
I
confirm.
I figured that I said on the day and before the day that the UK meta will have a blue deck that can win the event.
Mm-hmm.
Superion is very close to being able to do that, but as we found out on the day,
There's more than one.
there's more than one
Meets
top
the
tier
eye.
blue deck, and
Yeah.
so I was like, as long as Simon doesn't run into a shot build, he's probably in the top 8. So
yeah.
there we go. That was my round 5.
Cool. My round 5, I faced Amit Sharma playing Devastator. So another player playing Devastator. Sounded fairly similar to what you were describing earlier, Matt. So it was more mixed pip. He seemed to be more focused on just build the tower, which was effective in one of our games. I think he had the tower at like 12 the first game when he combined. And then the second game, if I hadn't have killed him, he was
10.
about to combine with 16 on the tower.
Good lord.
Yeah, so yeah.
He knows you only need 10, right?
Yeah, I know, but healing 16, like that's a lot.
Good.
That is a lot. Because even healing 12 when he did it in game 1, I was like, oh wow, that's more than I thought. Yeah, okay. I've still got to get through a lot, and it was close. Game 2 was a little bit easier for me, but game 1 was definitely tough. What else did I have? No, that was it. My notes just say it was mixed pit, focus on the tower, just discard as many as you can every attack.
Were you able to get your trigger off much?
I got it off a couple of times in game 2, which was what made it easier.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, good games to meet. I had a chat with him about Devastator afterwards because I love me some Devastator too. I think we all do, right?
Yeah, Devastator is really fun.
Yeah. So yeah, he was a nice guy. And I think he got Magnus in his pack from that round. So good for him. He can build the Magnus Jetfire deck.
Yeah,
Build it. It's fun.
yeah.
So
Spicy pack.
yeah, that was it. That was my round 5. There wasn't anything too like crazy, which was good for me because that left me 3-2 again. Like I don't think I'm gonna make top 8 at this point, but I've just got to win out and just hope, right? So that was me 3-2, and again, it means I can't have a negative record. So that was my goal for the tournament as a whole. I was like, I just don't want to come away with a negative record. That was just my personal goal. So
Yep.
On to you,
So
Matt. What
far,
was your round 5?
achieved.
Yeah, so far, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, game 5, round 5 was against Mike Pye, playing classic cars, or classic-ish, as I'm gonna refer to them.
Classic-ish, guys. Okay.
Classic-ish, yeah. Nick, who's playing the same deck as me, played the same deck in round 3,
Right.
and he'd come back to us and he'd said like some mistakes that he'd made,
Okay.
and that was whilst it wasn't relevant to me as in they didn't come up.
Yeah.
It was good for him to have that talk, and it was good for
Sure.
me for him to have that talk.
Okay.
Just to kind of like, this is that game. Let's go
Oh,
over
sure.
those things that he said again.
Right. Yeah.
And okay, let's make sure that it doesn't happen. And
He gave you the warning
so, yeah.
signs to look out for.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And so for those that listen to our, I guess now 2 episodes back,
Yeah.
when Brighton held its open trial,
Right.
there was a lot of fire drive
Mistriggers.
mistriggers.
Oh yeah, I didn't. That's one thing I
and
completely forgot to ask throughout the whole weekend. I didn't.
yeah, I did as well, but
I
I'll
was
tell you now,
planning to.
I don't remember forgetting one.
Okay, good.
So
I know. I
felt-
definitely play. I played against Wayne on Friday, and he started using a visual trigger on Fire Drive.
Okay.
He uses like one of the little, like, the little dice tubes you get, like the blocks of dice.
Yeah, sure.
It's got a little foam thing in it. I think he just uses that. He just puts it on Fire Drive, and then when he attacks, he takes it off and remembers to draw.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, whichever. It doesn't obscure anything. So
No,
yeah, I think that's a fair thing to do.
But yeah, so if you didn't miss any, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, so I felt pretty good at least about my fire drive triggers.
Did you miss any, Kev?
I did not.
Good.
Hey,
Success.
we've learned. So yeah, going into the game, had that talk with Nick, and opening turn, get to go first. Classic fire drive swing. Going into B, to try and start some damage off early.
Yep.
Maybe even make him make that decision on whether he wants to attack with him first,
Sure.
so that I don't then just one-shot him afterwards. That sort of thing. Then he does. I don't know if this was his normal plan, but he didn't attack with B first, which is what I would normally attack with B in this situation.
Yeah.
He instead went with Prowl.
Okay.
So Prowl comes in to Fire Drive. I think maybe he's trying to not kill Fire
Yeah,
Drive.
I can see that. Yeah,
But yeah, exactly. I can understand that. And he doesn't kill Fire Drive. I think he does 5 damage. And so I look at Prowl and think, okay, so he's got 9 health. So I need, with his 2 armor, I need to do 11. Can I do him in 1? No, but I do have Peace with Tyranny in my hand.
Okay.
So I weigh up the options on whether I should use Peace with Tyranny now, and I go for it. I haven't done it all event at this point.
Okay.
And I go for it now. Prowl can be a nuisance. If he, especially like as he's tapped now, he's in bot mode. If a start your engine comes, then he's going to stand back up. He's going to flip. He's going to give bold to somebody
To
else for
everyone
the
else.
next attack.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that's going to do, you know? So that's, it's going to be painful. And I feel like I can mitigate that somewhat if I can take out Prowl with the next attack and then have a second turn go big into B to finish him off.
He also has this annoying trigger which heals things, I hear.
Yeah, yeah. Prowl, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So if a card dies, then yeah, then another card gets to heal.
Yep.
Yeah. In the 3-wide build, it doesn't come up that often, I don't think. But in the 4-wide, it comes up a couple of times. So yeah,
Okay.
it's something to bear in mind, I think. Anyway, so I go for it. I play the Peace of Tyranny. I kill Fire Drive. I put Fire Drive onto Hot Rod because then I've got 2 solid attackers. Especially with the now tough 2 from Hot Rod. I then attack with Hot Rod into Prowl. I think I ditch something like an improvised shield to kind of boost my attack, thinking with the bold, I've got like a 2 versus 1 orange versus blue sort of thing on the attack, and I think, well, this should do 11 damage. I should have aimed for 12.
Right.
And he hits a blue and defense.
Yeah, the one star you range.
Yeah, no? Yeah. I weighed up, I looked at my hand, and I just felt like the cards I had, similar to Kevin earlier, like I just I wanted those cards to do something for my next turns. So I left him on 1. I had a marksmanship in hand, so Prowl was still going to die.
That's not too bad.
But yeah, it was still okay. It just meant that I now didn't have an action to play on Prime to go kill B. And so I was already committed at this point, so I had to kind of carry on with this plan. And so I did. I went in with Prime, flip Prime. I forget what I upgrade him with. I play the marksmanship on Prowl to kill him, so there's no worry about start your engines. And go into B. And it wasn't to be. I didn't quite finish him off. So then I have a nasty Wheeljack swing back and be on Prime, and the Wheeljack swing alone was enough to do him exactly.
Right.
Okay, maybe that was a bad choice.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
So
I mean, it sounds like you thought about it hard enough that you were confident that it was the right thing to do that at the time, though.
Yeah,
like the piece play,
exactly.
Yeah,
yeah. I think maybe had it have been B instead of Prowl, it was the right thing to do. But I don't know. Okay. Anyway, it happened.
Yep.
I lost that first game. So I need to think about what I'm doing for my next game. I decide to stick to the 3-wide. I don't bring in a new character. I look at the sideboard and bring in, just in case, I want to bring in that extra copy of the energy pack. I want to see it quicker to make sure, because Prime just died to exact numbers. If that happens again, then I know that he won't die. That was my thinking.
Yeah, sure.
So I want that. I brought in the gyros, mostly for Wheeljack, and I am using. What else is in there? I think that was it, really. I think I just brought those in. So now I am. Going first. Same plan. I go into B again, apply some damage. I think he comes down with Prowl again, and does some damage to Fire Drive. Not quite as much. I don't have the Peace of Tyranny this time, but I also didn't think it was a good plan, so I wasn't going to use it anyway. I just kept to the original. I think having a third blocker was probably better for me. So I kept to that strategy, and that was just enough to kind of give me a win.
Nice.
Then we had game 3. So we're now on parity. Go to game 3. And yeah, I managed to do much the same thing. I think this time he comes in with B into Prime, but I block just enough to be able to not take sufficient amount of damage. And because he's gone first, it means that I'm attacking last, so I can get pick of the crop on who I want to attack.
Yeah.
So when it comes around to general, I go all in on Wheeljack and do him to exact numbers.
Nice.
And
On
then
the
it was really
nose.
tough. Yeah, it was really tough for him to then come back from that. Yeah, it was another win.
Nice.
So I'm now 4-1.
So now you're potentially on a winning end as well.
Yeah.
Because you can't. I don't think you could. I don't think you could draw. I think you have to win, right, at that point.
Well, yeah. Well, I hadn't looked at. So I think the pairings got put up
Right.
before what happened next, and we all got to have a look at our pairings before they came down. And I was like 11th, I think, at this point.
Oh yeah, you mean the standings?
The
current
standings. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's the standings. Sorry, yeah.
Where were you?
And so I was 11th at this point.
11th.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's close.
It's close, yeah.
I can't remember what the standings. I didn't take a photo of them at that point, but yeah.
No.
Yeah, it all depends on what
No.
what points people are on, basically.
Yep.
And whether they can draw or whether they're going to play it out. So yeah. I think you were winning in. So yeah.
I think I was a winning in.
Yep.
So I had to play. It.
Yeah, you had to play.
So yeah,
similarly, I was
4-1.
18th at that point, so I was a little bit behind you. So I was
okay.
I definitely had to play, and at that point, when I saw I was 18th, I was like, nah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not gonna get 8th. I'm not gonna get 8th. I'm probably gonna get. I'll get top 16, which is fine, but I'm not gonna get top 8.
Yep.
Nice.
So yeah, before
that was our game 5.
Yeah, before the last round, we had another little surprise.
Yep.
They decided to, instead of after the last round, and I guess potentially icing the players between then and the top 8, right? They wanted to just keep it rolling. They did the Drew Q&A between rounds 5 and round 6 to give, I guess, people another little break. I guess that makes sense because it was 2 rounds and then lunch, and 3 rounds and then the Q&A, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that makes sense. So yeah, we had a little, I don't know how long it was, probably like half an hour, 40-minute break while we stood around.
Like about half an hour.
Yeah. And threw questions Drew's way, which if you want to see, then go check out Bleeped Up Productions. Lee McAlpin, he's uploaded that.
Yep. A lot of interesting things in there being mentioned.
Yeah, definitely. And then sorry, carry on.
I was just going to say, certainly things like combiners will certainly be making a return, and probably not in the too distant future.
And specific Volcanicus love and stuff. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, still lots and lots and lots to be excited about.
Oh yeah, and Drew mentioned, he was very forthcoming. We should mention that, like, with information. Like, we were trying not to like be assholes and just be like poke him and be like, give us all the answers, rah rah rah. Like, all of us were trying to be respectful, you know. But he was like giving us more than we were asking for, I think, a lot of the times, which was real cool.
I think
he was very
from my understanding of what I've heard of Drew, he is super passionate about the IP.
Yeah, he seemed it.
So when like a topic really excites him,
yeah,
he's happy to just kind of go off, you know.
Yeah.
Or maybe sometimes, like, maybe he shouldn't be revealing these things, but like,
right,
he's
sure.
like, I can't bottle this. Like, I'm too excited.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's cool though. That's cool to see that the people
it's amazing.
Like at the top of the game are like as excited about it as we are, right? You know.
Yeah. He seemed like a very cool guy.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons that I didn't want to talk to him too much, because he made a point of saying, he's like, I want you to ask us the hard hitting questions. I was like, you don't want me to ask you those questions.
Well, what sort of questions would you ask?
The address of the person who made press. Yeah, no, I'm joking, obviously. I'm joking, obviously. But yeah, all out attack. Yeah, I did joke that if somebody played it against me, I was gonna take it up to Drew and rip it up in his face. Obviously, I wouldn't, but
Well, he was
yeah.
he was very much because someone asked about the cliff jump, the San Diego Comic Con pack issue,
Yes.
and he was very honest. He said, look, we, from what he said, he wasn't saying that the cards in there were overpowered, but he said that their mistake was they did not make it readily available to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Um,
but we also don't know how much of that was down to them, or how much of that was
Yeah.
down to SDCC. So
exactly. The other thing that he did infer was that there could be reprints in the future.
yeah, well, that's what we'd hope, right? That they can just reprint it with alternate art and still keep their deal with the SDCC guys.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't flat out say.
No, yeah. We should state that he didn't flat out say it, but yeah,
you could infer it that
it may be a possibility. May.
Yeah.
Big emphasis on May.
Yeah. But they were
May next year. Yeah.
He was he was very he was very honest. That when people said that, yep, that was a mistake on our part, we will not be making the same mistake in the future, etc. So they know where they went wrong. So
yeah, which is good.
I think they've learned a lot from each thing that they've released. They know who they're marketing to, know where they should be marketing, and they're getting better at this. Like we already see now with the Omnibots, they made way more than they did of the Cliff Jumper packs.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that we should mention, right? We mentioned the prize support and how crazy it was. So the top 4 were going to get the SDCC packs, the ones we are just talking about, the one with Cliff Jumper and Slipstream, All Out Attack, and Tandem Targeting System. That's the one, right?
Yep, that's the one.
So we found out on the weekend that those 4 that were getting given away were the last 4 that will ever be given away.
Well, there was 6.
Yeah. I was going to go into that. There's 6.
But they're
they were the last 4 that are going to be given away because the final 2 are going in the Wizards vault.
Correct. Yeah. So there's like a bit of history there as well.
Yeah.
Which is quite cool. Like
the old,
it's like putting something in a time capsule.
The secret box of beta that's just sitting there, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool as well.
That vault's worth a lot of money.
Yeah. I don't know if the people who got those packs knew that, because they didn't say that in the Q&A. But we heard that throughout the weekend from a few people that they were the last ones. So
yeah,
treasure those.
I think while we're talking about the prizes, then top 32 we're getting the 35th anniversary Blaster Soundwave set. That's top 32 out of 56 players.
Yeah, it's like half the field.
Yeah, that's really, really, really good.
Yeah.
Even if there are 100 players, that's still amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Then,
as well as the 4 participation boosters.
Which
was cool because they were giving them out round per round. So it was like rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like at the beginning...
2, 3, 4, and 5,
Yeah, so at the beginning of the round, they'd come around and put booster packs down next to you while you were playing, and then you'd play your round, and then you'd finish, and you'd chat to your opponent, and then you'd be like, which one do you want? And then you'd like choose. It was cool. It kind of added to the social aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
You got to open your commiseration or your victory packs together, right?
Yeah, I saved all mine to the end.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah, I saw some people did that. I can't wait that long. I was just like, oh, I got a pack. Sweet, crack.
It's gone to those days. I remember when I first met you, you were like, oh, I've got to save my pack. I like
when it's like a box, though, it's different. Like, I'm weird about like a box. Like, I'm like a ritual guy where I have to sit at home and like open the box at home and stuff, right? But
sure.
Yeah, if it's just like random packs, it's not so bad.
So that was top 32. So top 8. So as soon as you make the cut,
you're getting an uncut sheet.
an uncut foil character sheet from
And
Wave 1.
some of them, Wave 1 as well. Yeah, so some of them were very nice. They had a good mix. They had the uncommon one, they had the rare one, and they had the super rare one.
Yeah, they were all represented. I think there was 2 super rares.
2 super rare
sheets. 2
sheets.
rare.
Yeah.
I want to say there was at least 2 of each, but
yeah, I think there was, right? Yeah, it must have been 2 of each. 2 common, 2 uncommon.
Yeah.
2 rare and 2 super. Yeah, makes sense.
And I think
they gave them out in order to. So basically, at the end of the Swiss, whoever finished first in Swiss got first pick, basically, and then all the way
based on their
down
standings,
to
they got first pick. Yeah.
Yep. Which I think was fair.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it was fairer that way than doing it in the knockout way.
Yes. Yeah. Then, if you're in top 4, you got the STCC pack.
Yep.
Then if you came first,
the grand.
So if you didn't already know this at this point, it's a major prize. So over in the UK, we don't always get the opportunity to head out to the States to a lot of their big events that they hold.
Yep.
And so it was all flights and expenses paid.
Yeah, all
trip
expenses
out to Philadelphia, go out to PAX, take part in the Energon Invitational.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like that's the one, right?
Yeah, that's what everyone was wanting for, right? That's what everyone was like. Even if people weren't admitting it, they're like they were there for that prize.
Yep, absolutely.
They were there for the potential of that prize, because that's crazy. I'm not gonna lie, that's crazy.
So going into Game 6, for a lot of people, these were the
nerves.
stakes.
The nerves were hitting hard. You could see it, because there were some people I noticed while the Q&A was going on. People were like not leave it, like no disrespect to Drew, like obviously, but the people at the top tables, I saw a couple of them. They were like, I need a breather, right?
Yeah,
this is it. This is do or die. Like,
and like me, I was sitting there listening in the Q&A.
Oh yeah,
I'm sweating.
Too.
Like,
everyone's
my
just
hands,
like
my hands were
looking
just
around.
clammy,
Was nervous. Yeah.
So yeah, it was
understandable.
Time.
Understandable.
I wasn't nervous. I was already crashed out.
I was like,
I was playing for top 32. That's what I was playing.
I was cautiously
and that's
optimistic.
Still a great thing to play for, right? At this point, right? So that's you're still in for good prizes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
worth
putting your all in.
I think I would have got the top 32 regardless, but I was trying to get to the top third of the so.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into the top 8, but top 16 would have been fine.
Yep.
There's no reason to not push yourself.
No, exactly.
You should always push yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Never give up, never surrender, and all that.
Sure.
Absolutely.
So going into the final round.
Yep.
I was paired up against Mr. Kaz Lewis, who was playing Superion.
Oh, the other Superion player was. Wait, was he the orange Superion?
Yeah, he was orange.
Yeah, there was an orange Superion, guys.
So sitting down, I did not know at this point that he was orange. Right. So I was like, oh no.
Well, why would you? Why would you? You sit down against Superion and you're like, cool, I know what I'm expecting.
And I was like, well, this is going to suck, but he's got to be running less removal than Simon, right? So I think I win the dice roll, and I'm like, okay, send out Fire Drive, draw a card, do no damage. And then he flipped oranges, and I was like, oh, this is much better.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
And immediately I was like, oh, okay, this is just an aggro off. Excellent. All right. So, yeah, I went from being not happy to see Superman to going, oh, no, this is an orange build. This should be slightly better.
Was it, though? Because 5 wide orange is still an issue.
I mean, he can still hit hard, and then he can still guarantee damage with like Alpha Bravo, so he doesn't have to play cards to like soup him up when he attacks.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So he plays cards to soup up his non-pierce guys, and then on the wheel turn just comes in with a little bit of pierce.
Yeah.
So before I knew it, Dreadwing had been KO'd, and I was like, oh, that was not cool. All right, here we go then. So I sideboarded in my giant, I sideboarded in the photon bombs, and he was, as orange, he's running far less removal than decks do. So the gyroblasters were able to stick. Not only did I get a gyroblasters on, I was able to find a steamroll with fire drive on Dreadwing, so I was able to kill 2 bots in 1 hit. And as soon as that happened, like, that's it. Like, even if he combines, he's taking so much damage that a couple of hits will kill him. I don't think he did combine in game 2, but I got there. Game 3, very similar. Found gyros early, they stuck. Found a steamroll, killed 2 bots, leaving them with 3. And then I had an armed hovercraft photon bomb turn to do 3 to the remaining 3 guys. To spread damage should he combine. He did not combine, and so Dreadwing was just like, kill that, take some damage, kill that guy, take some damage, and kill that. Just one-shotting your parts. Just like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hitting you really hard. Don't have to discard cards. Excellent. So, yeah, going from what I thought would have been a terrible last round game against a blue Superion deck, I went 2-1 against the orange one. That's probably the real game where the steamrolls were very relevant. So,
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Underplayed card is Steamroll. It's really good against Blaster if you're running into one of their other guys and you just want to try and
Ramhorn, though. Potentially.
Not Ramhorn. Definitely not Ramhorn.
Potentially.
But yeah, you just want to try and maximize your damage rate. So if they're sending out little guys to protect their big lad, just Steamroll, get that damage on. So that did work pretty well for me on the day. That left me at 4-2. Very respectable, nice. I feel.
Yep.
I ended the day in 15th place, so I got my Soundwave. I got my Soundwave Blaster.
Got your top 16.
Got my top 16. So yeah, and I was happy with that. I don't think even if I'd beaten Simon, I would have ran straight into another blue deck. I think that would have been a hard game for me. So there was a lot of in the top tables that would have just been way too strong against me. But so yeah, happy with my result for sure.
Nice. So yeah, me coming into round 6. I was 3-2, cautiously optimistic that I'm gonna maybe possibly squeeze in. Probably not, but maybe. Very slight, small percentage. So I'm cautiously optimistic. Then I look at the standing, the pairing, and guess who I'm playing? The same person that I played in the last round of my past 3 tournaments, Mr. Wayne Wong. So my Blaster adventure continues.
He's your nemesis now.
Yeah, literally. So at the final round of our Brighton qualifier, me and him played. Final round of the Friday LCQ we played, and then final round of the main event we played. So me and Wayne have played a lot now. So yeah, it was just a rematch of Friday, Metroplex versus Blaster. Pretty much the same. Apart from I didn't have any crazy city mode shenanigans in this one. But he was unlucky in this one. He just had bad flips on the Blaster. I think both games he was on his first turn. He flipped Blaster, brings someone out, improvise shield. So the complete opposite of when I played him in Brighton, and he was like both times one shall stand onto Scrapnel. This was the complete opposite. He's like, oh, improvise shield. Okay, I have to play it.
Yeah.
So, but that kind of not like sums up Blaster, but that's the RNG factor in Blaster, right? Sometimes you're going to get the good flips, sometimes you're not. The one thing I do remember about that is in game 2, I remember swinging into a force field and just that I forgot about. I swung into Blaster, who had a force field on him with Metroplex, after bringing someone out when I should have swung in with the little guy.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it felt bad. But then it swung back to me later on in the match because the little guy I brought out was Scamper. And then when it came back to me, I flipped Scamper to get rid of a force field. Another force field, I think it was. And then come in.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the swing back, Scamper the boy, he survived by the skin of his teeth. The old one hit point left. And that was enough. I think Metroplex died in that one, but Scamper was just enough to take out the Steeljaw mini cassette at the end.
Scamper the hero.
Yeah, Scamper was my hero this weekend. Usually it's Slammer, but it was Scamper this time. So that was it. I took it 2-0, I believe, against Wayne. I offered the draw because at the beginning, because I was like, we're both friends, we're both 3-2. Like, why not just draw and go 3-3, right?
Sure.
Like, we're both guaranteed top 32.
Yeah.
Like it means we can just chill and go watch the top tables and see what happens. But he's very competitive, which I respect. And to be fair, I should have played it out anyway because we need the matchup practice. So yeah, we ended up playing it out. Yep. I remember him joking at the end of game 1 when I won. He was like, "It's too late for that draw, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." But yeah, that was it. That was me round 6. So I also finished 4-2. But I think I had slightly better percentages than Kevin, so I finished a little bit higher. I finished just outside. I was getting nervous when they got down to, they were calling everyone's names out at the end, and I got to like a 12th, and they hadn't called my name yet, and I was like, am I going to make it? That's when the nerves started hitting. I was like, oh my God, am I going to do this? And then they got to 10th, and then they called my name, and I was like, okay, phew, I'm not 9th. Like, that's fine. On 10th, I got close. I'm happy. I had fun. It was good. So yeah, Metroplex. Oh, also, I should mention Lee McAlpin, right? He finished 12th with Metroplex as well. So 2 Metroplex boys in top 16.
13th, I believe.
Was it 13th? 12th or 13th?
He makes a comment. He makes a comment about it.
Okay. Oh yeah, because it's Friday the 13th. Yes, yes, I remember.
Yeah, favorite film series.
Nice. So yeah, 13th and 10th. Metroplex, still strong.
Yes.
So that was me. I had fun. Not really much else to say. On to you, Matt.
Okay, game 6. It's me getting the chance to.
This is it.
Make that
I remember
top cut.
coming over to watch you at the end after I finished with Wayne.
And I get to play Timothy Teo.
Yes.
He was a guy that I believe he frequently works over here, but he flies over from Singapore.
Yes. Yeah.
So
big shout out.
He's making
a big trip.
He's making the travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And him and his friends are followers of the channel,
which is real cool to hear.
So yeah, it's very cool. So yeah, that was really, really endearing.
I'll mention it now before you get into your match. I apologise, Timothy, that I didn't have more time to speak to you over the weekend. I was crazy busy running around taking photos and videos and just I'm sure you know the event was just a big crazy blur. I apologise.
Yeah, the weekend was a very big blur.
But we do appreciate the support all the same.
Yes, always. And now we're friends on Facebook, and we're going to be bouncing deck ideas back and forth across the globe, as in his words.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So I sit down. There's Tim. We have a little bit of a joke, and he brings out his Shockwave build.
Yeah.
So it's Major Shockwave with Skydive and Swoop.
Ooh.
So very similar to what I was using the night before.
Yeah.
And in the sideboard, he's using Motormaster.
Ooh.
He's clearly prepared for a lot of direct damage. And game 1, I come in much like I have the previous games. I've at this point not had a lot of games versus Shockwave, so how to handle him has been not something that I've mastered, or at least I say mastered, but like not something that I've practiced. So in hindsight, I certainly should have taken out the little characters before focusing on Shockwave.
Mhm.
But every time Shockwave was down, I would go all in to make the hit count on Shockwave. Then uh, it isn't enough. There's a lot of health
There is.
in Shockwave.
Yeah.
He's using way more blue than I was using, insofar as he was using sparring gears as well. So able to find that armor and stretch out that defense as well. Some real clever uses of hiding spots and infiltrates. And I think he even had like battlefield reports as well. Like
Right.
just
Yeah.
just a battlefield report like really threw me for a loop as well.
Well, I've
Like
been
there
saying
was
that for a little while. I think anyone who's running secret action should just run one of like something just to throw
Yep.
people off. All right.
No, I
Because
understand
as soon
it.
as you see
Yep.
one flipped, you're going to be thinking that they've got more.
Yep. So there were definitely turns where I'm coming in and I think he's kind of got the gist of what I'm trying to do, and try and wait for Shockwave to land and then come in. So um, he lays down a secret act, and I'm really unsure what. And so I don't know why I second guess my. I come in with um, a sizable attack. Um, reveals the hiding spot.
Yeah. Okay.
It forces me somewhere else.
Yeah. Sure.
Um, so um, so that's kind of frustrating when you get hit by a hiding spot that you
Yep.
weren't quite prepared for.
Mhm.
And then I think later in another game, a similar sort of thing happened, and obviously that's already happened to me. So I'm thinking, oh, is it that hiding spot again?
Yeah.
So I instead I think, right, maybe I should take out the smaller characters, and so I do. And all it was I say all it was, but it was a battlefield report.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Sure.
I'm like, oh no, like I could have gone in,
Yeah.
and this is where,
The mind games of secret actions.
yeah, it really is. And I'm not great with them.
Well, that's because we haven't
So
played against any decks that really use them that much.
no, for sure.
Because they're
Yeah,
like, especially in our local meta, there's nobody really that's trying to abuse secret actions. You tried the
yeah,
double skywalk list for a bit, right? But
yeah.
apart
I've
from
tried
that,
the
that
double
was it.
skywarp thing. That was really fun.
Yeah.
Um, so I lose match one, and
Mhm.
so already things are starting to like, right, how do I fix this? What's going to happen? Um, I I stick to my plan of um, wanting to apply as much damage to Shockwave as much as possible.
Yeah.
Um, and I side into OPBL.
Mhm.
And again, I've got that first turn advantage that I had um, in the earlier game, in the earlier rounds, sorry.
Yeah. Sure.
So I try and use that into Shockwave and land some big damage. And similarly, I get attacked back, and I think OPPL still stands. We come in, and I get to land another big hit onto. We stand back up. I land another big hit on Shockwave, and eventually manage to kill him off. And once
Nice.
he was gone, it makes things so much easier.
Yeah. Much easier. Yeah.
Um, and in this game, I was able to clear the field and take a win.
Nice.
In game two, it is worth mentioning he brought in, so because he'd won, he got the opportunity to bring in a character first. He chose to bring in Murmaster. He'd
Mhm.
clearly seen all of the direct damage that I was flipping
Yeah.
and playing. So he brought in Murmaster, and so because he did that, I took out a lot of mine
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
because it was going to be pointless, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
unless I was going to actually focus on Motormaster, I just took it out and just changed the armor hovercrafts came out, and I think one of each of the one shot stands and marksmanships came out, So I felt like it's worth keeping some because there will be a point where I have to go on to Master
Someone
to kill him,
else. Yeah,
and
yeah.
then everything else is live again.
Yeah.
So those were great swaps because then it meant that I could bring in the rest of the sideboard. So I brought in the energy pack, brought in the gyro, and such. So yeah, those cards really helped leverage that victory.
Nice.
Game 3.
This. I came in the middle of game 3. I remember how
Yeah,
tense you
so
were.
I think a lot of people came in at the middle of
It's
game
because
3.
everyone else was finishing their games, right?
Absolutely, of course, yeah. So I had, I wasn't going to change characters at this point.
Yeah.
That was clearly something that was working for me, so I kept that. He then sided out of Motor Master because he'd seen that I'd reduced um,
Your direct
my
damage.
direct damage,
Yeah.
but I didn't think to then bring mine back in
Okay.
once Motor Master had left.
Right.
So that's something that I potentially could have, that could have helped me, but
Yeah, sure.
who knows?
Well, yeah.
Then game plan goes as was. I get a skydive now coming in at me first
Yeah.
against Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think maybe like 1 or 2 damage comes on. Maybe I don't take any. I really can't remember.
Yeah, yeah.
I return with Battlefield Legend to see if I can one-shot skydive. I leave him on 1.
Oh,
Yeah. And so and because he doesn't flip, like marksmanship's dead.
Right.
I'm
So
trying to not.
now are you thinking about the armed hovercrafts?
I'm looking for the armed hovercrafts, and
Oh,
I'm
they're still in there.
regretting not bring. Well, no, sorry. Yeah, I'm regretting
Oh, right. Okay.
not bringing them back in. Yeah, for
Right,
sure.
yeah, sure.
Sorry. Yes. I think maybe I even brought in. Maybe I brought in photon bombs in this match. I really don't know.
Okay.
It's all a blur.
No, yeah, I can
But
understand. I can understand that. Especially with how this game ended, so I can understand you not remembering everything.
yeah. Shockwave all throughout is doing what Shockwave does. He's removing my hand. He's piling up on cards, and for like 60% of the game, I am top decking. So I have to make every card
Sounds
count.
like Shockwave.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's playing secret actions, so he can really control the cards that I play. And towards the late portion of the game, Tim brings down a energy pack on Shockwave, and I'm like, wow, okay, I'm top decking. I'm having trouble getting through all this blue. Shockwave's now got 21 health. These are a lot of obstacles for me to now get over.
Yeah.
So now I know I've got ramming speeds in the deck. This is my out. I have to hope I hit these. And I flip past 1. So I now know there's only 1 left, and I just don't see it to remove the energy pack. All throughout, I'm chipping away damage. It's trade for trade, blow for blow. It's just me. It's just Prime. I believe it was General at this point. General Prime versus Shockwave. James, one of our local guys, was contacted by Wizards to judge the event. Take his time out to judge the event. He comes over and says, "That's time on the round.
Oh
You've
no.
each got 1 turn left." So I'm like, okay, right, I've got 1 turn
I think
left.
this is where I came in. I think, like, I remember like coming and sitting down, and James was sitting there, and I was like, I whispered to James, I was like, "Why are you sat down?" And he's like, "It's time." And I was like, "Oh no."
So it's my turn. I draw an improvised shield for my turn.
Oh no.
It does nothing.
Yeah.
So all I can do is just swing naked into Shockwave, and I managed to put him onto 17 health.
But he's got the energy pack.
Oh.
but he's got the energy pack.
Yeah, that clutch energy pack.
And so, yeah, Tim comes in and finishes me off.
Yeah, literally
In
on the
his
very
last
last turn, right?
Yep.
It's as close as you can get, though.
Yeah, I mean, it was as close as you can get. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well done to him. Like, it was. He'd seen I was using energy packs.
Yeah.
It definitely worked out for him.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So
I remember because James was on his side of the table, right, the judge. So obviously when I went up and spoke to James briefly, I was stood on that side of the table, and then I saw him draw the energy pack, and I was just like,
okay.
I couldn't visually react, obviously, but like inside,
No, yeah,
I
sure.
was just like, oh my god, no, like.
So yeah, that was my hopes dashed of getting into the top 8 at that point.
Yeah.
I had got a firm handshake from Luke May, who was one of the Wizards representatives. He just goes, "Well done, Tim. Commiserations, Matt." And I was like, "No."
Yeah, I know.
That was when I just knew that was it. That was I'd fallen.
Fallen at the last hurdle there.
Yeah. So I didn't even make top 16
no.
from that. I ended up falling down to 18th.
Okay, that's still good though.
So still enough.
That's still in the
still
top
enough to
third.
get a box. Yeah. So I was
Top 20,
happy overall.
Top 20.
Yeah, top 20. And as I said earlier, like I'm still really happy with the deck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It maybe has some other things I can do to it.
Okay, that's good.
Like in the here and now sort of thing before the meta evolves.
It's good that it's got you thinking though already, right?
Yeah, for sure. But exciting nonetheless.
Yeah.
What a wicked day.
It's tough to go back and like relive it, right? But yeah.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I had to explain that whole scenario multiple times yesterday.
Yeah,
while at work.
that's the worst thing as well, right? You've got to like talk about it to everybody that asks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how was your weekend? Oh well, it was good.
Yeah. Well, it's better than like me at my work when they're just like, "What do you do on the weekend?" It's like, "Oh yeah, I went and did this tournament." I'm like, what's that? It's like they just have no idea what it is. It's just like, okay, it's just it's fine. But yeah.
So I work in a game store, so everyone's
exactly.
Just like,
you
did this thing. Yeah, well, what's going on?
That's like the complete opposite. Everyone knows exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So that was all 6 rounds completed, which gave us our cut to the top 8, right?
It certainly did.
Yep.
Let me get the final standings up on my phone briefly, and here we are. We'll go from 8th up, right? So in 8th place we had Ben Cotty. In 7th place we had Timothy Teo. In 6th place we had Francis Thomas. In 5th place we had Christopher McDonald. In 4th place we had Simon Monday. In 3rd place we had Ben Saunders. In 2nd place we had Joe Rodway. And in 1st place, the only he was the only undefeated at the end, right?
Yeah.
Reese Bradley.
So.
Reese Bradley. So that was the top 8 cut, and then they
hats off to you guys.
Yeah, hats off. Congratulations. They had a little break. They had to have their photos taken with their uncut sheets and all their prizes, and so they had a little bit of a breather, which was nice, but not too much so that they like cooled down. It was perfect.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at the standings, so I'm assuming they matched it up. So it was 1st versus 8th, 2nd versus 7th, 3rd versus 6th, and so on, right?
Yep.
Because Reese faced Ben Cotty on stream. That was the one that I went to watch. I was hanging out over by the stream station, trying to do my best to like give any help or advice I could, because I used to stream on Twitch. So I was doing my best to help those guys out. After this match, actually, I got to sit down and interview Ben Cotty about their match, which was nice. So I need to go back and listen to it. I haven't had a chance to yet.
That's hopefully
on the coverage
of that live stream.
Yeah.
If anyone's interested.
So yeah, that's on twitch.tv/Darksphere Twitch, I believe.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, so I watched Reese versus Ben, and then over on the it was like the complete opposite end of the room, which was kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, because this was the
rest
feature
of the
recorded
games.
one, right? So
Yeah.
They
I
wanted
mean,
it as
that's
quiet
why
as
they did it.
possible.
Yeah. I get why they did it, but it was kind of hard to keep up with the other matches. Like,
Yep.
so did you guys watch the other 3 matches that were going on at that point?
So I did. I walked over to see how Simon was doing about
Yeah.
halfway into the top 8 match.
Right.
He'd lost his first game to Shockwave.
Yeah, he was playing Chris, right?
Yeah,
he
it
was
was
playing
playing
Chris.
Chris. At the point I walked over, he had played Bigger They Are and swung in with the Bigger They Are and Alpha Bravo, and he put Shockwave up to 9 damage.
Okay.
I was like, oh, that's pretty good.
That's not too bad.
Pretty good.
It's halfway there.
It was halfway there. He draws and immediately plays Callous Leadership, and I turn around and walk away because
Wince.
that's enough. Like
the
5 damage heal on that means that Superion will be too far.
Yeah, I can see that.
And when you're already top decking, you're like, nope, okay. I figured that was what would happen if Simon ran straight into a Shockwave deck. Superion kind of needs to have cards in hand to spread damage or play the pierce weapons or such and such to make sure you can keep stacking that damage. So when you're top decking already and you find that pierce damage and then it doesn't matter. Okay. And he fell in the top 8 to one of the 3 Shockwave players in the cup.
3 Shockwaves in the top.
Yeah.
So
it was 3 Shockwaves.
Who was in the
2 Superions.
Yeah.
1 4 wide cars.
Yeah.
1 blaster. And what was the other one?
Ironstorm, Trigger Happy.
Oh, Ironstorm, yeah, Flame War, Trigger Happy. Sorry, Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was heavily slanted towards blue for the top cut.
Yeah, which
very heavy.
Like, not a surprise to you, Kev, because you called it out, but it was a surprise to me, especially after the advent of Blaster.
Yeah. I say, as I said before, I think European players prefer to play control decks and are very good at control decks. And if once Shockwave had been worked out and you've put those reps in, you'll see that he is probably the best blue deck in the game at this particular moment.
Well, I spoke to Reese, and obviously he was the top player after Swiss. He said that he's been playing he's been playing Shockwave in multiple variations for since he came out. And that definitely showed when you watched him. Like, I'm sure you guys saw it on the stream. He knew exactly what he was doing. His sequencing was so quick. It was very impressive. Like you were saying, Matt, the day before, like Shockwave's real. It's hard, and you've got to think a lot, and you've got a lot of options. He was so calculated with everything. He was like, draw a card, do this, flip this guy. I draw, you scrap, do this, attack, cool, you'll go.
Yeah.
It was those 2 players clearly have got the reps in. They've clearly mastered.
And I heard that. I will get to it. I heard that later on there was some. It was like I didn't get to see it, but apparently there was another match with him that he played, and a lot of people were saying that they were both they were impressed with his speed and standard of play as well as other players. But just the fact that the Shockwave thing has got so much going on. But he knew exactly what he wanted to do and what he was going to do.
I played him in the Bournemouth qualifier. He was running that deck then.
Yeah.
And I hadn't walked into it before. I played the dual Shockwave deck, which is just not there.
Yeah.
But that was the first time I played 3 wide against Shockwave, and his sequencing was spot on.
Yeah.
It was he's very, very good.
He mentioned that it's similar. He used to play Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's similar to a strategy in that game, apparently. this deck is apparently similar to a strategy. I didn't play that game, so I don't know. But yeah, he said that
it's all about card advantage with that deck for sure.
Yeah, he said that there was a deck in that game that he used to play, which Shockwave reminded him of. So that's why he's so like used to that kind of style of play.
Yep, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he could. I thought he had a very, very good chance of. Like he seemed to just steamroll through the Swiss.
Yeah, exactly. He was on 18 points. He was 2 points clear of everyone else in the field after Swiss.
Yeah,
faultless.
Yeah,
yeah.
And so he was up against Ben on stream first and took it over Ben. Again, it was. I think even Ben will say I think the speed, maybe it did or maybe it didn't. I don't know. But if I was playing against that and he was playing so quick and so calculated, I would have been like, okay, what's going on? Let's slow down. Let me see. Not like that, but you know,
need
what I mean?
to catch
it's
up.
Yeah. There's a lot going on, and you've got to be able to keep up with what's going on, right?
Yep. But with that sort of deck strategy, you have to be fast because otherwise you go to time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah. As I found out.
Just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
That's why
absolutely.
reps are important.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So let me figure out the results. So Reese took it over Ben. Chris took it over Simon. Joe was facing Timothy, right, in that round.
Ben took it over Francis.
Yeah, sure.
And
So Joe
Timothy
was
was
4
versus
wide
Joe.
cars. Yeah, so 4 wide cars versus Shockwave was Joe versus Timothy.
Yep.
I remember seeing the very end of that, and there was.
It was close.
Bolster. It was a bolster. It was a clutch bolster.
I'm not even sure it was that. I just recall.
No, Timothy. Remember, he told me it was a clutch bolster.
Okay.
Yeah, he said it was a bolster Scrapple Gauntlets thing.
Oh,
nice.
I definitely remember seeing not Joe. I definitely remember. No. I definitely remember seeing. Words, brains. A rip. He ripped a press off the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that helps too.
So
that helps too.
I was like, I think the rip off the press was enough to KO the Shockwave.
It was that backed up by the multiple orange and white flips from Shockwave on defense.
Yes, he flipped double orange.
It sealed the deal. For him. But yeah, that looked like an intense game. Joe said it felt like 3 games that just lasted forever.
Yeah, I can see that.
It certainly felt like because for some reason I don't know why, but 8 matches weren't timed.
No, they're not because it's
I
at
don't
the
think
top
they
8
often are.
No, at top 8 knockout they're not usually timed.
Oof. Which
is good and bad. It was good for the players because they can relax and they don't have to worry about time, right? But it was also bad because the stream match finished really quick. Well, not really quickly, but comparatively to the other matches, it finished quickly. So we were waiting around for a long time for another match to go up on stream, and it was kind of awkward. like the guys over at the stream station were just kind of like, "What are we supposed to do? Like we have no like." Do you want to talk over dead air? That's when I sat down and spoke to Ben for a little bit. And then I was trying my best to be in the stream chat to keep people updated. They're still playing. We're waiting for another match to finish off stream. We can't continue because we need to know the winner of this to put on stream because that's what they were trying to do. Because what happened was in the second round there was a Shockwave mirror, which is what I was going to mention previously about Reese versus Ben. Chris. Sorry, Reese versus Chris. In the Shockwave mirror. I didn't see it because I was over by the stream station, but apparently that match was crazy quick, which we were expecting it to be the slowest match because it was a Shockwave mirror, and it was the quickest one.
Blue. Shockwave versus Shockwave. Yeah, super.
That's why they didn't put it on stream because they were like, "Oh, we don't want to put it on stream because it's a Shockwave mirror. It's going to be slow. It's going to be boring." Yeah. We won't put it on. We'll put on the 4 wide cars versus Blaster aggro match, right?
Yep.
I still
back that.
Yeah, I think that's a good decision. But then the Shockwave match finished before the other one. which was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it speaks to both Reese and Chris how much they've played that deck, and like I said, how they were both. Because I played Chris as well, and he was the same. He knew exactly what he wanted to do, like his sequencing. He was like, "I'm gonna do this. I'm flipping Swoop the hero. No, I'm not flipping Swoop the hero. He never flips Swoop. He's like, I'm swinging with Swoop the hero. He's gonna survive on the swing back. Watch." And then he does, and you're like, "Oh no." But yeah. It was, I think that's just pick a deck. Learn a deck and just rep it, and then you get your speed, right? Especially when it comes to control decks. So the second round of top 8, we had the Shockwave Mirror off stream, and then we had the Blaster versus 4 wide cars on stream, which was kind of swingy as well. Like there's some crazy plays in that set. It was very tense for an orange mirror. I can't remember all the specifics, but it's on stream. So if you guys want to go watch it, please go check out twitch.tv/darkspheretwitch and go check it out. Joe's one of our local guys, so obviously I was a little bit biased. I was rooting for him, but Ben's a cool guy too. Everyone's cool. Everyone that we met this weekend was cool.
I think something that might be worth mentioning that wasn't obvious in the stream is that Joe had mentioned after the game that so it was as aggressive as as orange versus orange can get, right?
Yeah.
And
is this in game 3?
They went one. They took one apiece.
Yeah. I know what you're about to say.
And and in game 3, Joe was doing what he could, but could not find an upgrade to save his life.
He said he drew one upgrade the entire game. I remember seeing him. He'd be like, "I'll flip this guy, draw 2, right?" And he's
so
like,
the fact that
squishes.
he was playing one card every turn and got to the point that he did, that's still really good for that deck.
That's what I mean. He was drawing like 2 cards, and like they still weren't helping him, and he was still close. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. I was sitting there thinking, right, okay, I feel like him going first is perfect against Blaster. You know, get some solid damage.
Yeah, but exactly. You get to smash Blaster in the face first.
And just like, that's step 1 done. Cool. Right, let's just draw some cards. I'm gonna flip a card and get a card from Cliff Jumper.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not an upgrade, right? Okay, fine. The next turn. And it just seemed like that was a common story of that game.
Yeah, there was one turn where he drew 2 cards and they were both squishes.
Yeah.
And then the next turn he draws and it's a ramming speed, and you're like, "Oh, where are these upgrades?" Like,
yeah.
I
remember him just like looking in like confusion and like just looking through his discard pile, just like
I remember him doing that. He like at the end he drew a card and he looked at his scrap, like, "Where are they?" And it's just like, they're all in there, I think. Like they're all in the deck still. Crazy, yeah. But that's just the way this game goes sometimes, and what makes it so swingy and interesting to watch, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ben was able to take it over Joe there with Blaster over 4 wide cars. So we got 1 Autobot in Grand Finals, and we've got 1 Decepticon in Grand Finals because it was a Shockwave Mirror. Ben was Chris was over. I keep saying everyone's name's wrong. I apologize. Chris was able to take it over Reese to meet Ben in the finals. So we had Shockwave versus Blaster in Grand Finals, which I don't know too many people were expecting Shockwave, but I'm sure probably a lot of people were expecting Blaster.
I don't think before that event many were thinking Shockwave at all.
Maybe it would do. They were thinking it would do well, but maybe not Grand Finals, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I would say that.
I called a blue deck to win the whole thing.
You did call a blue deck.
You did, and this was
you didn't call
your
Shockwave.
No. The final Grand Finals was very, very tense. Like, I don't know if that came across on stream because the guys were wearing actual players were wearing headsets and kind of like doing their live commentary, because unfortunately the way the stream setup was, there was no way that we could sit and get anybody to do live commentary because the PC setup was too close to where they were playing. We would have been basically sat right next to the players and they would have heard exactly what we were saying. So it would have been really awkward when somebody draws like a clutch force field or something, and then the commentators have to be like, "Oh," but then you're sat right next to them, So yeah, unfortunately we couldn't get live commentary, but it was still. I think maybe it was better because maybe it came across the tension better with the.
I felt the tension.
Yeah, that's what I haven't watched the stream back yet. I haven't had a chance because I've been so busy since the event. But
that would be really bad for me because I'm quite non-verbal.
Oh, also the other thing is when I sat down to do the interview with Ben, I put the headset on and only one side of it was working, like the headphone side of it. So I could only hear in like one ear. So I don't know if any of that affected any of the players.
I don't know. In the stream, it didn't sound different.
No, it wouldn't have done anything. It wouldn't have made any difference to the stream. It's just that
it wouldn't. But
yeah. But yeah. So Ben and Chris sat down. They were very jovial, and from what I understand, they played each other in the Cardiff qualifier, right?
That's what I understand as well. Yeah.
So this is like a run back of sorts.
The rematch.
Yeah.
I believe the same decks too.
Yeah. It was because as we're about to go into, one of the clutch things that was able to swing the game was secret actions and playing around those secret actions.
Yep.
So we mentioned previously that Gyro Blaster was one of the main MVPs of the tournament, right? And you would think against Blaster that it would probably do the same. But unfortunately, he just wasn't able to. I can't remember if he saw them or not. But it didn't do the work that it had been doing throughout the rest of the day. Let's put it that way.
Was the Blaster list running one shall stand as well?
Yes, it was, because his first flip both games was flip Blaster, get one shall stand, hit Flame War. And then swing into Flame War. It's put her on 7 in one shall stand range.
Yeah, so the Blaster deck basically it doesn't rely on bold as much as other aggro decks.
It can do though. I think it can be built that way, but
it can be built that way. But it will be playing presses and recklesses, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that the version that is going around the most at the moment with Fire Drive is more static buffs. Yeah, reckless charge, static laser, stuff like that. But yeah, just the secret actions, they were so swingy. Like you could see Chris getting frustrated with them. Like he was trying so hard to catch presses with the infiltrates and stuff, and Ben was just like, he put a secret action down and you could see him think about it for a long time, and he'd be like, he was definitely deliberating, just like, do I risk playing this action or not? And
I think instead, to get around it, he just plays like a one-shot stand or something.
Yeah, I believe he mentioned that in a back and forth with James on Facebook afterwards. That one-shot stand obviously is great because it's blank, so it can't be infiltrated. And also there was another turn, I think he said, where he had a press and a reckless charge in hand, and he was like, well, if I just play I want to play the press, but I don't want to lose the press, so I'm going to play the reckless charge because I don't really care if that gets infiltrated. So he went with that instead. And he's like, if it does, then cool, like whatever, I lose it. But if it doesn't, then it's just free damage, right?
Yep.
And I don't use my press.
Yeah. It doesn't take the damage, and it's kind of similar insofar as it's a +4 swing.
Exactly. Yeah. So like big respect to him, but obviously, like we said, they played before in the Cardiff one, so he already was aware to look out for the secret actions, which I think you need to play against this deck for at least once to like. Well,
see what it does. Yeah,
well, not even this deck, just secret actions in general. Like until you've had one hit you and affect your deck like really badly. I don't think people are like taking them as seriously as maybe they should.
Yeah, if you play into it and get burnt, you
remember
immediately
that.
go.
Yeah,
You remember it. You're like, you never want that to happen again.
But if you're just like playing it and they only see their battlefield reports like every time you play them, then you're just gonna be like, okay, it's fine, whatever. Like you're not going to think about it. But yeah, if you get hit by like a dampening field or like a hiding spot that's clutch, you remember that, and then you're like, oh yeah, I need to look out for these secret actions, and maybe you got to like poker face this a bit more, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It went down to final game though, right? So they took one apiece off each other, and it came down to.
I think each of these games were like that.
Yeah, they were both close games, and
a lot of these top 8 games were 2-1 victories.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So,
yeah,
like they were all well worthy of their top 8 placing.
Yeah, definitely. That every single match was close.
They all knew exactly what they were doing. So yeah, well done.
Final game, or final round, as we call it in fighting games. So I can't remember who goes first. It must have been Blaster. I think Blaster went first, right? Yeah, it must have been, because he did the one shell stand thing twice, going first. So yeah, he went first in the first game and first in the third game. So he goes Flip Blaster, bring out Steeljaw, reveal one shell stand, 3 to Flame War, swing in, deal another 4 to Flame War. She's at 7 in one shell stand range. Perfect. Exactly what you want. So he's already feeling good, right? And then I think, unfortunately for Chris, he wasn't able to just recover from that. The same as in the first game. Like, if that happens to you, this is so hard. Like, that's pretty much not like the distraction character, but she's a problem, Flame War, right, in that deck. Like, the extra tough matters. So
yeah, absolutely.
Being able to get rid of her, like, essentially straight away, because she's now in one shot stand range. If you get another free one shot stand flip, or you draw one, she's just dead, and you don't have to worry about her. Like,
yep.
So yeah, I think that sequence of events, like, happening twice, is too clutch and too much to recover from sometimes, you know. Again, he was playing around the secret actions and just wasn't getting the flips. I remember him flipping a lot of oranges on defense as well, unfortunately for Chris.
Yeah, and there were also other swings, like he had enough orange in there to be powerful.
Yeah, definitely. He was playing grenade launchers consistently.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he had enough blue in there to still be defending for like 7s, you know.
Yeah.
So it wasn't without its.
No, he put up a hell of a fight. Like, hell of a fight. He was just like, oh yeah, grenade launcher swoop, send swoop in, and then swoop would survive, and then just like it was very, very close. Like, I don't want to make it sound like that first play just blew him out, you know, but yeah, it was still close after that, but he just wasn't quite able to recover, you know. So yeah, it came down to Ben taking it with Blaster. So we have our European representative, Ben Saunders. Yep. He's going to get his flight and accommodation to America at the end of the year.
Yeah, well done to him.
Yeah, congratulations. He's a great guy. I didn't get to speak to him that much, unfortunately. We had to kind of leave fairly soon after the event, and he was busy sorting out the logistics side of it, right?
I think he was pretty much like, he was blown away that happened. I think.
Yeah, sure.
I think
you could
all just quickly set in that I've won.
Yeah, it was one of those things where, like, he won, and then, like,
I'm going to America.
yeah. You could see it on his face. I mean, unfortunately for the stream, they couldn't see it, right? But we were sat literally right next to him, and like, yeah, he wins, he puts his card down, he takes the headset off, and I think it was as he was taking the headset off, he realized, you could see it in his face. He was like, oh.
Or he just put his head in his hands, like, you know.
Yeah, he put the headset down and was just like, happening. It was great. It was really cool to see. Yeah, mad respect to all the players in the top 8 and the whole event. Everyone was super nice. The atmosphere was great. Everyone was respectful in the top 8. And there was nobody like making loads of noise in the background or anything. Yeah, it was cool. Commiserations to Chris, obviously. Like, he was a good sport about it. He was very like jovial, and his sense of humor is really, I like him. He's a cool guy. He was fun to play against. So yeah.
I didn't get the pleasure.
Right, yeah. I don't know if there's anything you guys want to add from what you saw of the top 8.
No, I think we've covered it pretty well.
Nothing more of the top 8.
Cool. Hopefully everybody watching the stream enjoyed it. I was in the chat trying to update people as best as I could. And that's pretty much it for the event, right? After that, it was just pack up, go home.
Yeah.
A lot. Some people stayed overnight. We unfortunately didn't. We drove back straight afterwards.
Yeah.
What time did you get back, Kev?
I think I stepped through my door about 11:45.
Okay, that's not too bad.
That's not too bad.
What time did I drop you?
We got back about half midnight.
Yeah. After I dropped off Joe and then went to McDonald's. Second McDonald's of the day. Not good. That's what happens when you compete in tournaments, unfortunately, and you finish at like 11 in the evening. It's like, oh, what junk food is that? Oh, McDonald's. Okay.
McDonald's.
I live right near a drive-through as well, so it was perfect for me. I just drop off everyone, just drive to the drive-through, and come home. So yeah, I stepped in my door about 1 a.m. But obviously, I just picked up food, so I ate food and then promptly woke up. So
yeah,
stayed awake till about 4 a.m. watching a Tekken tournament in America. The life of competitors, huh?
Yeah. But all in all, a fantastic weekend.
Yes, yeah. We cannot understate that. It was absolutely a pleasure to play and meet everybody. If I didn't get to meet you or play you, then apologies. Hopefully we will get to sling some cards in the future.
There'll be many more chances to do that.
Well, yeah, this time next year, right? This time next year.
Let's hope so.
Or every 6 months, as we nudged at them. We're like, why every year? Why not every 6 months? Nudge, nudge, nudge. Yeah. So yeah,
that's very good.
That's it for.
I think we can round that out.
This episode, yeah. Sorry for the long one. It's been a real long one. We tried to split it up as best as we could, so that's why we did the Friday one separately. Anything that you guys want to say about events coming up? Have you decided what's going on yet or anything?
Not yet.
I haven't finalised anything yet, but it will not be long.
It will not be long.
It will not be long.
So keep your eyes and ears peeled for events coming in Brighton and Southampton. 3 week stops. Okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah, let's say that now.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, we will keep you updated on the Twitter. If you do not follow us, please follow us at TCG Cityspeakers. You want to plug your personal Twitters, guys, at the end? I don't know if you're about that or not.
No, I don't really use mine enough.
No? Okay. Well, if you guys are interested, I'm at L_Scarscreen.
Awesome. Well, with that done, thanks very much for listening. I hope we've been entertaining as always.
Mm-hmm.
And we will catch you down the road. It is a goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye
from me.
We did it at the same time. No. It's a goodbye from all of us. Take it easy, guys.
Take care.